Hey Jeff, how are you doing over there?
Hey Dean, no, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me, and it's great to meet you. Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to another segment of my coffee chat series, in which I speak with other sales professionals, entrepreneurs. But today we have a special treat. We have Jeff Zirlin, also popularly known on the internet as Jihoz, and he's one of the founders of Axie Infinity, which is a leading game built on Ethereum. And he's also a real thought leader in the blockchain and crypto gaming community. So thanks again for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Dean. Yeah, super excited to be here.
Awesome. So for those of you who don't know, Axie Infinity is a collectible game in which users can collect virtual creatures and combat on a battlefield. And through the game and ownership of the NFT or non-fungible token creatures, players can actually earn AXS tokens, which is in the format of play to earn. So, Jiho, you started with Axie Infinity along with your co-founders back in 2018. And as you know, today in 2021, NFTs are becoming more and more mainstream and going crazy. Everyone from Gary Vaynerchuk to Mark Cuban's talking about NFTs. So, how has the blockchain gaming space changed with this mass NFT adoption?
Yeah, it's definitely been amazing to see a new audience start to engage with this technology. I think that's the massive potential for NFTs and NFT gaming is that it has this potential to be something that's more accessible to an everyday user community member. So, yeah, we've definitely seen an influx of new archetypes of users, people that may not be as familiar with blockchain or crypto. And so that, yeah, it's been amazing. I think we've always believed that this period would come. And I think, we're still in the very early days of uh, getting people in, and there's still a lot to be built. We're still in a very primitive state of infrastructure, right? So it's just like in the early days of the internet, why was adoption low? Why didn't people use the internet, even though it had so much potential? It's because the user experience was quite bad, right? And then things started to change quite dramatically in 1994, around 1994. So I think that we're, yeah, potentially in 1993, 1994, with regards to blockchain adoption.
Of course. Well, it's really exciting, and to be in this space, especially with blockchain being more massively adopted and NFTs becoming more mainstream. So, given your early involvement in the NFT space and your unique perspective on, really where the market is headed, where do you see NFTs going in the next 10 years?
I think that NFTs will transform a variety of industries. I don't I think that they will be additive. So for example, I don't think that physical collectibles are going to not be a thing anymore. I just
Yeah,
think that digital collectibles will start to become a much larger portion of the collectibles market. Just like right now, I think that NFT games are going to become a major genre within gaming. I don't think that they're going to destroy or kill any other aspect of the gaming industry, right? Like we saw PC gaming didn't kill console gaming, mobile gaming didn't kill PC or console gaming, right? So it's like each the only exception that we kind of saw was that mobile gaming reduced handheld gaming, right? But it to a certain extent. So yeah, I think that NFTs will in some ways grow and unlock a larger total addressable market for many industries. And I'm especially bullish on collectibles and art and gaming. And art we were already starting to see is I think very understandable and accessible. Gaming, right? It takes a lot of experimentation to figure out the models that will work. It's very easy to drag and drop and create an NFT.
Yeah,
It's much harder to create a sustainable in-game economy around these ideas of player ownership and play to earn.
I hear you there. And, it's really interesting. So as far as gaming goes, do you see like, say if we're talking about Madden football or, Call of Duty, all these different types of games, do you see NFTs eventually having a space in there where say people can have their own NFT jerseys or say like different NFT weapons that are exclusive to them and can't be replicated?
Yeah, I think anything that's not money, anything that's not anything that's basically not money can be an NFT. So really the use cases are super broad. So yeah, things like jerseys, right? It's like you might have an NFT collectible that can then be, for example, exchanged or redeemed for a physical jersey in real life. I was just talking to someone saying, oh, you should do baseball memorabilia that you sell an NFT, but you can also have them exchange or redeem that NFT for an actual physical collectible. And so, yeah, I think there's so many potential use cases. I think that one of, broadly, what is the most important application of NFTs? It could be related to property rights within developing countries. Basically creating a way to create deeds for land for farmers that might not actually have some type of claim of ownership of their land. So yeah, I think like there are just so many applications of this technology. And I think gaming is really important in that gaming is something that can appeal to a lot of people and get their foot in the door, get them set up, get them set up with wallets, for example, that, I think a lot of people, their first bank accounts, right, will be digital wallets. Why did they get these digital wallets? In many cases, they will have gotten these digital wallets to play games.
Yeah, no, that's very true. So okay, gaming, and then also with collectibles, a lot of you're seeing a lot of different NFT projects around art, various artists, different types of art. And one area which I'm really thinking of, what will take the mass adoption to the next level is when people find a way or find a more established public way in which they could showcase the art that they have or the collectibles they have. Where do you see the application coming in where people can showcase or flaunt what they own in NFTs, whether they be art pieces or pieces of music or anything like that?
Yeah, I think like right now it's about flexing on Twitter, like your Twitter avatar, Discord. I think that in games, right, like when people are actually looking and playing, that's, I think, that's a very easy way to do it, right? So that's also why I think games are a natural use case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm not sure. Like there are some applications that are like, oh yeah, like this is an application for viewing NFTs. I'm not necessarily sure if those will take off. Twitter or Instagram, I think like is kind of sufficient for that. I'm not sure if there needs to be an NFT specific one. Maybe it will, but I think that actually the focus of these places where you show off your NFTs are going to be the future. The focus is like, okay, having fun and socializing. Yeah. Right. And then while you're doing that, you're showing off your NFT. I'm not sure if you can, oh yeah, this platform is for showing off your NFT. And then, okay, while you're here, like, let's hang out and spend more time here. Does that make sense? I think it's, so that's the way that I see it. But
yeah, no, I hear you there. So right now, a lot of it is say in the fun of playing a game, or you can show it off on Twitter, Discord, etc., all of those platforms. But yeah, Jiho. So obviously the Axie Infinity community has seen some tremendous growth over the past year. And much congratulations for that. I'm sure it's been a really wild ride for you and your team members. Can you share with us some of the defining moments throughout the past year?
The last year has been amazing for the Axie community. I think that around July of 2020, people started to learn about our revolution, our movement, mainly through two kind of primary narratives. One was the rise of play to earn and people actually surviving the current pandemic in places like Venezuela, the Philippines, Indonesia. So they were playing to earn Axie and able to earn much higher than the minimum wage in their country by playing Axie. And I think that caught the attention of the media. And I think that was really important for our community. The second was on the other kind of side of things, where some really prominent collectors and funds just started to come into the Axie universe and snatch up like some of the rarest Axies in existence. Some, even land plots within the universe. So I think those two things drive a lot of attention to our game. So I think it's Axie is a symbiosis between kind of like large spenders and collectors, and then also like the smaller, grinders and farmers. So it's real. The way that I look at it is it's a real economy. It's like a real country or a nation, and you need both workers and you need also kind of benevolent benefactors of the system as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So for you as the growth lead of Axie, I would imagine that continued growth is your biggest priority right now. So how do you plan to grow, the user base and players, say, to like 10x what it is now or 100x from right now?
Yeah, so I think that with Axie, we do take a growth mindset to how we structure our roadmap. So everything in our product pipeline is to address and to unlock a new set of users. So right now, the user experience is quite clunky. It's difficult to get crypto. It's difficult to set up a wallet. It's difficult to get Axies. It's difficult to even download the application. So a lot of our roadmap in the next year, and it's also very expensive to pay gas fees. So a lot of our roadmap in the next year is about making it super easy to get started, right? So you can just use a credit card or a debit card to purchase Axies without even having to touch crypto.
Yeah.
We're basically building a scaling solution called Ronin, which will mitigate or eliminate the issue with high gas fees. Right now, it's difficult for people to get started with Axie because they have to they have to spend money on Axies before they've even kind of tried the game or a demo. So we're building basically a free to play option where you can try out the game with limited or reduced rewards, but just to see whether the gameplay and the universe appeals to you. So I think, those aspects of the roadmap will unlock further growth. So that's the way that we kind of think of it. I think that also with Axie, it's very community driven in terms of how we get the word out. I think it's kind of like almost an ant colony in that we're the ones transmitting the signals to the rest of the colony, right? So there has to be really good communication from us to every single member of the community so that they also know how to present Axie to the outside world. And I think they do a really good job of it. And I think, but we also need to amplify these efforts of kind of independent micro influencers, micro creators. So things like a referral system, a creator system with creator codes. I think that will also really help kind of
Wow,
supercharge our growth.
that's amazing. So you guys have a plan, you're very growth minded, and it seems like, as the system gets a little more user friendly and adoption becomes more accessible and easy, that's when you can start going 10x and 100x from where you are today.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you got it.
Awesome, man. Well, is there anything else you wanted to leave the community with today, perhaps where they can learn more about Axie Infinity, perhaps keep updated on what's going on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can just Google Axie Infinity. AxieInfinity.com has a lot of great info. Discord.gg/Axie. That's our main community. You'll find 45,000 people who know a lot more about Axie than I do in there. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in learning more about NFTs.
Awesome. Well, one thing from this conversation that really stood out to me and touched me, I had no idea of how powerful Axie Infinity was helping some people get through the pandemic and, different countries like Venezuela, in which, people were really struggling during these times. So that's something that I'm sure your team and yourself are extremely proud of. And thanks for sharing that with all of the viewers today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's definitely means a lot to us.
Amazing. Well, Jiho, thank you so much for taking the time. And for everyone, I'll link some of Jiho's information in here. So if you want to learn, follow him, you'll be able to see more.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.